Hello everybody, my name is King and today we are Nuzlocking Pokemon Crystal Legacy. This is a Pokemon Crystal ROM hack developed by SmithPlaysPokemon. Highly recommend you check it out. I'll put a link in the description. It has been an absolute pleasure to relive my first Pokemon adventure with my best friend Tones in our co-op Nuzlocke. For those of you who don't know, a Nuzlocke is playing with a set of self-imposed rules, the main ones being you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter in each area, and if a Pokemon faints in battle, you have to release or box it, essentially creating permadeath for your Pokemon. Also, in this co-op Nuzlocke, if one of my Pokemon dies, Tones also loses a Pokemon, and vice versa, which further adds to the challenge. We thought it would be fun to share our Elite Four run with you. Last time, we made quick work of the first member, Will, and we are hoping to carry that momentum through Koga's poison types. Koga is a master strategist, and like any good master strategist, he is fielding a toxic stall team. 4 of his 5 Pokemon have access to toxic, as well as evasion boosting moves or protect on Qwilfish, which we may be able to abuse for a free switch in to our electric types. Venomoth is rocking Sleep Powder and strong stab moves, with Leech Life being buffed in line with present generation games. Despite Ariados receiving a decent stat buff in Crystal Legacy, sporting an additional 40 base speed, our leads Houndour and Zudon still outspeed and will KO before it can move. Muck is holding leftovers to complement its special bulk, but if we can hit it with an Earthquake, it should still go down. We also have access to the Thief TM, so if we position correctly, we may be able to steal those leftovers for ourselves. My team order is unchanged from our battle with Will, but there are a few item changes. Houndour and Psyche have their hands free for potential pickpocketing, and Lightyear is holding a Persian Berry to help him square off against Crobat's Confuse Ray. Giving off villain vibes, Koga reveals his strategy, Confusion, Sleep, Poison, and then Wahahaha! Koga laughs at us menacingly. We don't appreciate that, so we're going to jump into the battle. Once the dust has settled, we will be having the last laugh. Koga sends out his Ariados into Houndour, who is dreadfully afraid of spiders. She starts freaking out, throwing flames everywhere, burns Ariados to a crisp. Koga is in shambles. Brings in Qwilfish, hoping he can douse the flames. He realizes it's too little, too late. In his rage, he opts to use Toxic over Protect, badly poisoning Lightyear as he switches in. Now that we are poisoned, we know this master strategist wants to stall us out with Protect and take this opportunity to set up our light screen. A true master strategist would have predicted our prediction. Protect is likely to fail if used on consecutive turns. Lightyear connects with Thunderbolt, and because of the KO, we avoid a tick of poison damage. Lightyear can't do much here, but his light screen has paved the way for a safe switch to Psyche as Muck uses Minimize to raise its evasion. This pint-sized Muck can't hold his leftovers anymore, so Psyche picks them up off the floor and immediately starts munching on them. Everything was going according to plan, but Psyche had no idea the kind of beast he'd just unleashed. Muck, boiling with rage, spews flames towards the thief of his beloved leftovers. Our light screen dulls the first flames, but Psyche is frazzled and haphazardly sets off earthquakes to combat his unseen foe. We rescued Psyche from a raging fire in the national park after our battle with Fire Breather Walt and his Magmar got a little heated. It's understandable that his composure would crumble when faced with these fierce flames. Thanks to the leftovers recovery, Muck will run out of Fire Blast PP before he can exact his revenge. So Koga tells him to cool his jets and switches in Crobat above the rampant earthquakes. Now that the flames have ceased, Psyche recovers somewhat and levels his gaze toward the swarm of Crobats appearing before him as it uses Double Team. His first Ice Beam misses the mark, but he fights through the confusion to score major damage with his second. Our trip to the Move Tutor outside Goldenrod Game Corner is paying dividends. Psyche still seems out of sorts, so I switch him for Lightyear, who immediately questions my decision after taking the second tick of poison damage due to a Gen 2 glitch, and a set of fangs to the neck. Not wanting Lightyear to join the Legion of Undead, I quickly return him and pivot to Houndour, who will gladly take bites all day. Crobat tries to hit us with Toxic, which Houndour artfully avoids. I opted to use Thief here, hoping to secure both Bright Powder and the KO, but we narrowly miss out on the latter. This gives Koga an opening for one last Hail Mary Confuse Ray play. Houndour hits herself on 2 turns in a row and is suddenly at risk of going down. We still have healthy team members in reserve. It's time for Derek to make his debut. His stone skin helps him shrug off Crobat's bite, and he shows him how it's done with a bite of his own. Koga's ace is out of the picture, and Derek is in prime position to sweep the rest of his team. Muck is the next to fall. The first rock slide hits him hard. He panics and reverts to the strategy that served him so well against Psyche's Earthquakes. Little does he know, Derek has been trained to drop rocks on a dime, and he's only made himself more squishable. Derek is delighted he was able to take down the Muck tormenting his friend Psyche, but he's keen to cause more carnage. Venomoth stands absolutely no chance, and it was honestly cruel for Koga to send him out after witnessing what Derek was capable of. That's one clean Koga fight down, 1 to go. Tones handled Will much better than I did, so let's see how he does against Koga. Tones has switched his lead from Sneasel to Crobat. Ursaring is going into battle bare-backed, hoping to get his paws on Muck's leftovers. Rhydon didn't come in against Will, but he's hoping to utilise his Quick Claw to tear through Koga's team. Into the battle now. Zoodan resided in Dark Cave before we met her, so she has no problem with spiders and is actually going to play with her food a bit here. Flying just out of reach of his charging Mega Horn and his spindly little legs, then starts softening him up with an awe-inspiring aerial assault. Koga issues the command to take evasive action. She can smell the blood on her wounded foe, so Double Team does not slow her down one bit. She finishes off her prey with a bite. Quillfish comes out, and Zoodan's poison typing limits its viable move options for this turn to Surf or Protect. Either way, Tones sees a safe switch to Bro for the Thunderbolt KO. Koga did opt to go for the Protect, even though he knew Zoodan had Fly, a 2-turn move. Master strategist, everybody. For the second time today, Muck comes in to wall our electric powerhouse. He sees Rhydon join the battle and knows the earth is about to start shaking, so he morphs into Mini Muck once again. This time he is not so lucky, as Rhydon displays much greater control over the tremors than Psyche had, nailing it on the first attempt. Venomoth is at the mercy of RNG here, but we see no Quick Claw proc for Rhydon, and Sleep Powder does connect, so there will be no rock slide coming through for a hint of deja vu. Tones is yelling at Rhydon to wake up, and she may have heard him since we do see the Quick Claw come into play. She's out cold though and takes a chunk from Psychic. A crit on the second one could KO, and predicting this, Tones opts to play it safe and switch to Sneasel. Sneasel sneaks in a feint attack and then absolutely melts to the incoming Sludge Bomb. He's covered from head to toe and looking worse for wear. Tones promptly pulls him out of the fight, bringing Zoodan back in to brush off the leech life. Even though it's been massively buffed for Legacy, Zoodan's 4x resistance makes it even weaker than the OG Crystal. Zoodan flies up to avoid the Psychic, then swoops back down to pick the moth out of the air. Koga's team are dropping like flies at the wings and fangs of his own ace Pokemon. With only one card left up his sleeve, he has no choice but to send his beloved bat onto the front lines to be another notch on Zoodan's belt. Zoodan outspeeds, despite being underleveled, and gives Koga's ace a taste of his own medicine. He is able to get off a double team, but this only comes back to bite him. He attacks his own after image, allowing Bro to come in for free in the confusion. Bro fires off a wayward Thunderbolt, but he's got plenty of juice in the tank and is already ready to send off another one. Crobat collects himself and bites Bro in a desperate attempt to make him flinch. Bro is unfazed and delivers a final Thunderbolt to bring the battle to a close. With Koga defeated, that leaves only Bruno and Karen between us and a chance to challenge the champion, Lance. Thank you for Nuzlocking with me today. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what I'm doing well and where I can improve. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more.